Can you all hear me? Great. So here's the image that I wanted to show you. So think of Rome, the open city, the eternal city. Imagine Seneca and Lucan arriving at Rome with their eyes wide open, absolutely dazzled with all that marble splendor. And think about their impression and think about what they would think by seeing all those columns, all those arches, all those domes, and which they shout, "We are here, and we are Rome, we are here to stay." And so, in Rome, this was something that was untouchable. This was something that was permanent, something that was definitive. And there was this unmistakable feeling about there was something that could be stuck, something that is eternal, that is definitive, that is indeed untouchable. And here we are with our own digital empire of digital colosseums and towering tech companies. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Metaverse. But instead of facing and be admired by that marble splendor, we can raise our necks and face walls of code, blockchain networks, and reality worlds, all of them whispering sweet nothings about an equally permanent future. And so, yes, absolutely, they are impressive, they are big, they are bold, they are shiny infrastructures. But there's still that same feeling, that same touch, which is, could these tech titans become barriers themselves? And so here we are with this new Roman triumvirate of artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Metaverse, the three reigning champions of digital power, casting long shadows in the landscape of modern business. And yes, of course, they are impressive, they are magnanimous. But like every Roman leader relied on strategy to build and protect their empire, we too must rely on strategy to protect and build our own digital empire. And that's when it enters, in this phase, John Boyd's OODA loops principles. John Boyd is a military strategist which composed this framework, the strategy framework of OODA loop, which is observe, orient, direct, and act. A framework that is sharp enough to cut through the hype and also to prevent ourselves from drowning in our own high-tech grandeur. And so, the first element, or the first emperor of our triumvirate is artificial intelligence, is AI. AI being the oracle that never sleeps. So AI is, in fact, our very own oracle. Imagine this digital entity that foresees the future, that perishes into the future with the lens, with the glasses of data. But don't expect any prophecies in clouds of incense. AI's visions are far more clear, far more clinical, and with more data points than we can even fathom. And so we have our first stage of Boyd's OODA loops principles applied to this triumvirate. And we have the observe and orient phase. And so AI's superpower is constant surveillance. Its main thing is to supervise everything, is to see everything, to watch everything. It devours data, gobbling up every trend, gobbling up every shift in consumer behavior, and also every financial blip. And those companies, those entrepreneurs that have access to this tool, to this data, have an advantage over competition. Because with this technology, they can spot a pattern before competition even knows there's a pattern to spot. And so, John Boyd's OODA loop's principle of observe here reaches its peak. And then you have the direct enact stage of John Boyd's OODA loop's principles applicable to artificial intelligence. And so this is where AI gets even more powerful, because AI is not supposed only to observe, but like an oracle, it also predicts. And so enables companies to basically make sharp, fast decisions. And it obviously, with this kind of advantage, you can think about a Roman leader with the access to this kind of technology, and what he could do, what he can basically predict any behavior within this field. And so, essentially, AIs, like any powerful tool, requires two things: a steady hand and also constant recalibration. Because with AI, you will need constant recalibration, you will need also a steady hand so the technology doesn't escape from your own hand. And so, for the next element of our triumvirate, we have the blockchain. Blockchain is the law and the order of this new digital empire. And so, blockchain, if AI is our oracle, blockchain is basically the lawgiver. Blockchain being this lawgiver, it is as close as to incorruptible as technology gets, creating a world where trust isn't needed or earned, but instead is coded into the system. And so we have, in the first stage of Boyd's principles applicable to blockchain, we have the observe stage. And so blockchain, what it does is, blockchain is, in fact, a relentless auditor. It is a rigorous bookkeeper that logs every transaction, every interaction in real time, and makes sure it stays logged into the system. So you can imagine for instance, you can imagine if the Roman treasury had access to this kind of technology. Basically, every transaction and every deal, every agreement could be locked in and visible for anyone who wanted to see it. And so there will be no backroom deals. There will be no mysteriously unvanished funds. There will be simple and pure transparency. So the other stage of Boyd's principles applicable to the blockchain is the orient stage. And blockchain it's not only serves the purpose of observation, but also for orientation. And so blockchain has this technology being blockchain's decentralized governance model, a model where companies can pivot away from the centralized control, orienting companies towards themselves in a shared system, in a shared digital system. And then you have the another stage. The other stage being the decide and next stage of blockchain. And so this is where also blockchain gets even more powerful, because this is the decide and act phase. And in this phase, so blockchain doesn't only allow fast decision, it also allows fast and bulletproof decisions. So basically, every action, every trend, and every agreement is secure, is transparent, and is tamper-proof. And so, in an agreement between two people, in the blockchain is automatically executed once trust is encoded into the system, and once our conditions meet within the digital network, which is basically the symbol of a good old West shaking hands within a digital network. And so basically this is purely the Orient John Boyd's principle at its best. And so blockchain, of course, has its own sex appeal. Blockchain has this, this appeal of being this decentralized network where basically the peers can trade everything. But you don't get fooled by your own tech wizardry. Because if you do that, if you get comfortable with crypto, if you only rely on crypto to be based on cryptocurrency trade or for some element of speculation, you will end up having a dusty old ledger. But if you use it wisely, you can have multiple usage, multiple functions, and you can build a trust so high that would make the current landscape, the current business landscape, looking like a Wild West. And so the third element of our triumvirate is the Metaverse. So the Metaverse is, in fact, Tron meets Roman Forum. So the Metaverse is our forum. If AI is our oracle, if blockchain is the lawgiver, then the Metaverse is our forum, is basically the place where people meet, where people interact, and where people buy virtual sneakers or virtual socks for their virtual selves. It's basically Tron meets Roman Forum, and this is a digital wonderland, a digital space where essentially what users can do is meet each other, interact, and let companies know exactly what you want and what is your intention. And so the first element of the Metaverse, applying the Boyd's principles here, is the observe and direct. And so the Metaverse, what it does, Metaverse lets companies essentially see user interactions in real time, and lets, obviously, businesses see user interactions in real time. And essentially, the other element that we have is basically the direct and act phase of Metaverse. And this is where Metaverse gets very wild, so to speak. So the Metaverse isn't just basically a place to hang out. The Metaverse is indeed a place where basically companies can test things, where basically companies can essentially know exactly what you want and to trade other things based on your behavior within this kind of metaverse. So basically, to the end, metaverse is dynamic, of course. Metaverse is dynamic. Think of the metaverse as if a Roman merchant had access to it. You know, he would know exactly if there's a customer who wanted basically an olive oil, for instance, or if it was just, I'm just washing kind of guy, for instance. So the metaverse is very dynamic. And it's both its charm as it is its challenge. And so you have to be very wise. You have to bring your A game to the metaverse. Otherwise, other people can come in and rewrite the rules of metaverse. And so here we have this triumvirate of artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the metaverse. So imagine if imagine the Roman Empire at its peak, at its prime, with all these columns, all these monuments, all these arches, and think and think about the triumvirate of artificial intelligence, of blockchain, and the metaverse applied to this digital empire, where each technology supports and strengthens the other. So, applying the Boyd's principles here, you have observe, orient, direct, and act all together. So AI would be refining blockchain's precision, blockchain would be securing data for the metaverse, and the metaverse would be the place where everyone meet, where everyone could basically trade, where everyone could interact themselves. So basically, this is the vision. This is the so-called Pax Romana, but adapt to these current days, we can call it the Pax Technologica, a balanced digital ecosystem where each technology supports and strengthens the other technology. And in this case, we can say that balance isn't just optional. It is, in fact, pivotal. And so, for us to reach, and this is the close remark, for us to reach this Pax Technologica, this vision that we have, and to apply Boyd's principles to this new triumvirate of artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the metaverse, we can basically think on this. Although these technologies are all magnificent, magnanimous, and like the ancient Roman Empire, you can't rely on those technologies to carry on by themselves for the future. You too will have a role, the user, the people will have a role on how to use those same technologies. And all you need to do is also apply Boyd's principles to this new era of this digital empire. So let's bring the future something to be worth remembering. Thank you.